We are open seasonally. We're not open year-round. Half the year, we aren't even in Provincetown. We're away from our guest houses. One of the reasons why people say, oh, you're living my dream, is because they think you don't have to work half the year. How great would that be? That's not actually the case. There's actually a lot of work that we have to do, even when we're not at the guest houses. So here we are in our winter getaway in at 7 Central, which is our biggest guest house. Isn't actually built for year-round living. What we're doing is we're basically living above the store. So we are working between mid-May and November, either actually working or on call. It's really a blessing that we can close for a while every year, to give us a chance to recharge, to give our staff a chance to recharge. It's better for us to be down here. Curt got to the point where he just couldn't deal with another Cape Cod winter anymore, which is completely understandable.
Can I tell you why? My breaking point, the last straw on the camel's back, is when I went out to get firewood. I turn the corner and go to our big stack of wood, and between me and the stack of wood is a fox that would not let me get wood. So he started hissing at me and going at me, and I threw down the bag and I said, you win. We're moving. It was fun because it was new, unique, and stuff like that. But as it went on, I just realized it was just better for us at that point to go somewhere where it was nice and warm.
It's like The Shining, with Curt and Cory just like walking around this big inn with the snow flying and the coyotes and the foxes and the raccoons.
When we first bought the inn, our first inn, it was kind of in rough shape. So the first, I think, 3-4 winters, we worked year round, and so I'd have contractors there. And then I like to also do a lot of the stuff myself, which saves us money. So we replaced 40 some windows. We replaced, I think, 13 doors. We started replacing bathrooms. We started replacing flooring. We started replacing our through-wall heating and cooling systems.
And then we bought another guest house.
Yeah. So we had an extra 15 minutes on a Sunday.
We really switched over the vibe of 7 Central and needed to update it. And we had to do that in the wintertime because when we're open, we're too busy. You can't get into the rooms to paint, and you can't get into the rooms to change out faucets and toilets and all of that stuff.
Now, you may think to yourself, why are you changing out faucets? Why are you fixing this? Why are you doing that? Why are you doing repairs? Bed and breakfasts use residential fixtures and finishes in a commercial setting. So what that means is we should be using commercial faucets, commercial toilets, and so forth. The aesthetic doesn't work, so you can't do that. So wear and tear on the rooms is more than you can imagine. And we also realize people are very amorous when they're on vacation, which is great. We're pro-amorous. But where they're amorous is on the toilets, and they break the backs of the tanks off, on the sinks, in the shower, and so forth. So you can just kind of go from there and understand the kind of things that we have to do. A lot of that stuff we can fix on the fly if it's mid-season, high season, and then do a more complete fix. But, you know, there's always stuff that's leaking. There's always stuff that's cracking, and it's just because we use residential finishes in a commercial setting. I am working every day now for at least half the day. Everything keeps going. For the first 2 months we're down here, we're still dealing with issues from the previous season. That be unemployment for employees, reporting things that we have to do for the way we structured our business, and the bills keep coming.
So one thing that I start doing this time of year is I start looking at booking trends and what's going on with bookings for the upcoming season. And I keep an eye on that because if we start getting concerned, there are things right now that I could do. Pricing reductions is just one thing. There's a bunch of stuff in our little bag of tricks. Past 2 years, people have been revenge vacationing. And people have done that. And now people have taken their long overdue trips to Europe and to Mexico and South America and wherever else. And now people are starting to settle in to more normal travel behavior, which is good, but it's also a little scary because the past 2 years, at this point, we've had a huge number of pre-bookings for the coming season, and they're just not there this year.
But if you look back a few years ago, before the pandemic, it's falling in line with that. And one of the reasons that you guys are going to want to look at all the booking trends and look at the travel trends and so forth is so you don't panic. So don't run scared, just figure out what's going on, because every year is a little different.
Good advice. Good advice.
You said it.
Well, but it took you years to be able to get comfortable with that idea.
I'm still not totally comfortable with that, and I freak out, and Cory brings me back down. Invariably, I come out in February out of my office in our little getaway hole in the South, and say to Cory, "Oh my God, bookings are coming in too quick. Oh my God, bookings are not coming in like they should be." And so he checks prices on a regular basis, and we also do trend analysis on a regular basis. Where are people vacationing and why? Are they spending more money? Are they spending less money? Do people feel more wealthy because of their 401ks are up or less wealthy for the same thing? Do people have more disposable income? Is inflation affecting things? On and on and on. But it's all kind of scary until you do the research. Cory's great at doing that research because when I come out and say, "Oh my God, bookings," and he just says, "Read this article, read this article, and read this article." And I do, and it calms me down, and I just have to wait a little bit for the bookings to come in. But it can be scary if they're not coming in like they did the year before.
Has there ever been any year that you didn't freak out?
Last year. Yes, I did. I freaked out because I said, "It's coming in too much. It's coming in too much. What's going on?" Because it started in January and boom, every day, just a huge amount of reservations. And I was worried that we were doing something wrong. So we course corrected on that and leveled things out. So, but
what were we doing wrong?
We weren't charging enough.
Right.
You don't want to say that. So we course corrected. And the reason we raised prices was not only because of supply-demand issues, was anybody that's in business will tell you what's happening to their costs. I can go through our P&L, and there's not a single thing in there we're not using as the same amount of that hasn't increased at least 10%. Our insurance went up 50% this year. Eggs we had thousands of dollars of eggs where we used to have $1,000 of eggs. It was crazy. We had to do it. It sucks. And always look at the trends. What's happening for your next season? You do your homework. This business is fun, but it is a business. So, it should be respected and treated as such. And, we've got 9 employees, so we owe it to them to know what's going on. So they stay gainfully employed. They have mortgages, they have car payments, they have spouses. So, it's our responsibility to do a good job for them also.
We have a staff member who lives at each of the properties during the off season when we're not there. They are shoveling snow when needed. They're checking on the rooms, checking the temperatures throughout the properties to make sure that nothing is freezing, checking water to make sure that the pipes aren't frozen. Talk about monitoring and how we've gotten better at that, the properties when we're not in Provincetown.
We don't close our properties down. Some of them do. Like they'll drain all the systems, and that property is whatever inside, whatever temperature is outside. I'm of the firm belief that's very hard on a property. My feeling is if you keep everything working, everything keeps working. So we joined the 21st century, and now I have sensors which give me temperature and humidity throughout the properties. I feel more confident that I've got a good grip on things when I have everything monitored and there's a keeper at each one, caretaker.
Cameras.
Oh, yeah, we have security cameras everywhere, which you'll want to do too. Everywhere, I mean common areas. So we can see who's going, coming, going. Oh, and also all the common entries and exits have locks on them that give me an alarm if I want. I set it up, you know, in the winter to let me know who's coming, because everybody has an individual code, when they came, and so forth. So I know who's in the property. You're going to want to get away. It's a very taxing business. One that you'll know in the first year if you like or not. We've known several people that have come to Ptown, bought ins, and then hightailed it. We like it, so we're still here. But you're gonna need downtime. And so you may want a month or 2 months, and you're gonna use that time to recuperate, and you're also gonna use that time to fix and update your properties. We have a lot of regulars, and they like to see changes and improvements.
I want to make sure that we're not giving the wrong impression here. Provincetown is open for business in the wintertime. Restaurants are open, guest houses are open, there are events going on.
And, you know, I don't want to give the wrong impression about winter either. One of the most fun times Cory and I had is during, I think it was February. We stayed at an inn around the corner from one we owned, because we didn't own any inns yet. We were living in Boston, so we'd go to Ptown often. We were down for an art auction, and it snowed and snowed and snowed. And Cory and I found ourselves during the day in a little place called Atlantic House, otherwise known by the town, he says, A House. We just made a lot of friends and had a great time, and we remember it to this day. And that was, gosh, 20 years ago, maybe 15 years ago. Ptown is a great place in all seasons.
There are links below to the Provincetown Business Guild website and also the Provincetown Chamber of Commerce website. And you can always look at those calendars to find out what's happening in the winter months. It was terrible. But tonight I'm
Soup and cheese.
No!
Sauce.